That's my salad, and this is James's pepper, stuffed pepper, and he has a smoothie and green juice that I made this morning. I'll talk about that. He has some of this stuff, and it says a warning for high in sugar, and you can see that there. I'm having a smoothie too, and usually he has daily greens. He's not having that right now, but I'll show you the nutritional information on that. And I mean, there's a lot of things in it, so he really likes this one. We're going to talk about islands which got top of the stack. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. James is going to talk a lot about that. It's a 2-hour long thing. 1,000 miles behind.
Talk about it. Let me
bottom of the stack.
You don't have to put up with me 2 hours.
James is eating this in his stuffed pepper, and he wanted some cheese to go along. I didn't remember to put the cheese in.
It doesn't.
So he's just gonna put as much as he wants on his pepper while he's eating it. So you may have noticed. So this is, I think this is gonna be my favorite hiking dress of the year. It's wonderful. And
so she used it for cooking but hiking before that.
Yeah. And I think I'd like to wear it every day. But because it's a light fabric, and it's just when you're hiking around, especially if you have a bad back, you don't want to be packing around too much extra weight. It's hard. Nope. Anyway, so you may have noticed I put cherries in his stuffed pepper. That's because I thought I was done with the cherry season. I finished drying my cherries, and then I washed the dehydrator, because I thought, okay, well, I'm going to return it to the library now, and I want it to be clean. And I was a little worried it wouldn't come clean, because I don't know if you saw it while I was working with it. It was really messy, and cherries are messy. Anyway, so it came sparkling clean. It's absolutely perfectly clean. You'd never know that I used it, especially not for cherries.
Now, is that because you're good at washing it, or because it is very cleanable?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I cleaned it. I soaked the stuff in hot water, and then I just scrubbed it, and it came really clean. I'm not very good at cleaning things, so I'd say that it's just made well that way. Now, talking about James's juice, you'll notice that this summer we've been using a lot of magic bullets to make the smoothies and whatever. I would recommend that goes last. So I would recommend you do it in this order. So this is actually quite sweet, but the protein smoothie, which also has cherries, is sweeter, I think. And this is basically this. This is a lot of lettuce. Like when I'm making the salads, I can't use the lettuce, I guess, stems, the part that at the bottom. And with the cabbages, well, Opie loves that stuff. I don't know. I guess he was a street dog in LA. That's not here in Lethbridge, Alberta. That's LA, like Los Angeles. So he was a rescue dog, and then he was gifted to us, and because, well, he's a rescue, and he was raised by the streets of LA, but he comes with some very interesting habits. Like, he really loves eating produce, and I think he spent a lot of time eating from, like, behind dumpsters and stuff, or whatever. Yeah. And so he loves the cabbage cores, the stems. He loves that. And
it's not just cabbage.
No, it's all sorts of things, but he does not like lettuce cores or stems. So anyway, so that, you've been noticing I've been eating a lot of salads, and James a bit, but you know, he's really not that thrilled about the salads. And this might be easier for him, even though it looks really difficult. But it might be easier for him to get down. There's some fennel bulb in there and pineapple also to help it. But honestly, I don't know what could help lettuce. Lettuce juice is the worst. It's really bad tasting. But James will show you with his face.
Dandelion juice.
Yeah. I think it is. So James gonna open that up, and you'll see by the expression on his face what lettuce juice tastes like.
I can't help it, Mike. I'm already probably grimacing.
Yeah, just thinking about it because he's had it before, so he knows. It scars memory into your brain of like what it tastes like. It's so bad. Yeah, there you go. Just licking off that top. But what I was gonna say is I had an ex-boyfriend who, his family, I guess they moved around a lot when he was a kid, and they'd go to thrift stores, and it was just really cheap for them to get a whole bunch of wide mouth mason jars to use to fill up the cupboard to use as cups. It was way easier than buying glasses or whatever. They were always there, and they're not too breakable. You can be pretty rough with them, and they're built to stand up to it a little better than typical glasses. Anyway, I was thinking, I'm sure the magic bullet people, they thought, oh, this is great, we'll make our magic bullets so that we can sell extra of the plastic cups or whatever that only fit this magic bullet machine. And I see these things at the thrift store all the time now. And I think it's because, one, people don't really, they're worried. Anybody who's making their own smoothies is a little bit worried about their health, right? Worried enough that they're not going out and just buying this or whatever kind of pre-made smoothie juice. So they're using a magic bullet. And then they're like, well, I don't like the thought of my food being in plastic or whatever. Well, you know what, Magic Bullet Company, maybe you should put out a new magic bullet and make it so that it actually screws into wide mouth mason jars. Because I love wide mouth mason jars. They're the most awesome jars.
About the same size.
About the same size. Come on. It's a no-brainer. So, anyway, that's my thought on the matter. So James made it through the juice, and it was bad. So what I used is for the pineapple is, you'll remember that lately James has been eating a lot of kebab with the pineapple. Well, the core of the pineapple, which Opie also does not like. I don't know if pineapple's just not a dog flavor or something. He does not like it. But that makes really good juice. And it's tough on some juicers, so sometimes it's best to cut it up into littler pieces to stuff it through, because it's pretty hard. But anyway, so how do you compare it to this juice?
Probably healthier, doesn't it? I don't think you put any sugar in it.
No.
I didn't taste any
juice.
sugar, but it's a rough ball. I've had way worse, of course.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was going to say Opie will eat the bases of broccolis and bases of
he loves cruciferous
cauliflower.
stuff. Yeah.
But he doesn't
Cabbage.
like pineapple, lettuce.
No.
He loves cabbage. That might be his favorite.
It might
just
be his
sit there.
favorite, yeah.
It's like gnawing on a bone for
Yeah.
So I'm going to drink this next.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
going to save this.
Yeah,
for,
whatever.
Well, it's a lot of fluid to get down.
Yeah.
Now, I probably had a little bit of a fluid deficit. That probably helped getting this down.
Yeah.
Because we're out for a
Sure.
little hike.
And so anyway, I guess we'll get rid of 1,000 Miles Behind first, bottom of the stack. And both of these are sort of like, if you're wanting an adventure, thinking about holiday or whatever, you're going to see some beautiful scenery in both of these. Different scenery, of course. But this one, it won a whole bunch of awards, and when James was looking at that, we both went, oh no.
When we were looking at it before the thing started.
Yeah, before it even started, we're like, oh dear, it won all these awards, it's probably going to be bad.
Yep.
And honestly, it's not that good, but there's some beautiful scenery. So it takes...
Not the hero of the thing. He looks pretty craggy. And
there's not enough
scraggy.
story here for...
You know, I think that's basically it.
And so they really stretched out the beginning.
Oh my God, was it stretched
so bad.
out?
So
I don't know how I stayed awake.
20 minutes in, before you wanted to start watching it. And even then, it's like barely wanting to start watching it. So it's the first 20 minutes. Nobody wants to hear that much of ringing phones,
Not being
unanswered
answered.
doors.
Just ring.
Yeah. Somebody moping about being sad. Whatever.
Just have
Nobody
some flashbacks. He's
whatever. I don't
Spoiler
know.
alert, he's lost his wife and daughter.
Yeah.
Right?
So of course he's feeling down.
So I have some flashbacks because
But
just watching a person being down and not answering the phone, it's like we can experience that any old time. You know, like we don't have to experience it vicariously.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Wow, was that bad? It's one of the worst openings I've ever seen.
and somebody left him a motorcycle as a
Don't
gift or
try that
whatever.
with someone
Why would
who's
anybody
depressed or
do
down.
that?
Well,
That's a bad idea.
Yeah. Awful idea. He survived. Spoiler alert, he survives the
Yeah.
motorcycle.
But you don't care. You see a lot of beautiful scenery. So if that's all you're looking for, you might enjoy the movie.
just try to look around the actors. You know.
Islands. Now this one we didn't expect it to get the top of the stack. When we started watching it, we're like, well, I'm liking it more than the last one because we watched these back to back.
That kind of hurt this one because I was figuring like Pauline.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was figuring, another
these,
one of,
man,
yeah,
man.
exactly. And so that's what we were thinking at the beginning. And we're like, boy, I can't identify with this guy. He's such a loser. It's about a tennis coach in a tropical resort. And it's a bit of a very different murder mystery of sorts. So I'm not going to give it away what happens in it.
Very
You're
different.
expecting murder.
Creatively done.
And creatively, yeah. So this is very interesting. And at the end, you still don't really know what's happened, but you have some serious suspicions. And because during the movie, you're wondering, why is he still hanging around? Why is he? But he must have some serious suspicions that way, right? And there's the writers have written it so that you're leaning in a certain direction. You're thinking this must be what's happening, right? Or what happened.
There's all sorts of mysteries in
Yeah.
other words.
But
And you don't even know. I will tell you that he doesn't get killed,
yeah,
but so he survives. But you don't know if he's got a real life after he makes a big decision.
he makes a very big
you
decision
don't
at
know.
the end, and it's like,
It's
okay,
not a decision I would have made.
yeah, it's a tough one. He's probably going to end up going back to the same sort of thing, but maybe it's best that he doesn't. Maybe that's what, just the continued reminder. Anyway, I'm not going to say what goes on with this, but it is
Because
worth watching.
It's worth going through.
It's 121 minutes long, and I've said before, keep it an hour and a half. This one you don't want to. And even though these both start out where, like this one, it's not slow at the beginning exactly. It's just you're seeing how you can't identify with this guy's life. He
Or with him.
seems like
I don't like anyone.
loser.
Except
He's,
maybe the kid.
he's going to the bar all the time. He's a
Sloshing
serious
drink down.
alcoholic, and you're like, God, what has brought this on, or like why? This is a horrible life, and you can see that. Well, in resort towns, maybe that'd be quite common for people to just party up every day or whatever. But anyway.
It's bad enough when you're on tour, a tourist, but
Yeah.
if you're there
But with
as
this
a
one, I
tennis
would
pro,
say
permanently,
once you get past that beginning where you're like, ugh, this guy.
can't stand it.
Yeah, you can't stand him. But once you get past that, you realize that was necessary. You had to start out that way. So, whereas this one, this had to start out differently. This really, it's tough. Anyway.
A lot of stuff should have got lost on the cutting floor there, and it
Yeah.
might have been considerably better.
Yeah, and with this one, you don't want anything to have been edited out. You want to go back actually and watch it again and go, did I miss some other things? You know, there's a serious mysteries, plural, going on here, and you want to figure them out, and it's tough to figure out. You're going along going, I don't know what's going on here, you know?
Yeah.
That's great. So
I was going to say, with the one that we didn't like, it's made fairly clear early on what his problem is.
yeah, exactly.
But you don't know what this
guy.
is. Ultimately, they don't really explain it necessarily.
And neither one of these people are likable, really. In his state, you understand it, but you still don't want to see it and whatever, right? Anyway, so...
Well, you'd like to think that in that situation, you could handle that situation better than he is, but...
Yeah. And there's a lot of unanswered questions in this. It's like, okay, you can see he's a wealthy person and everything. Where is he getting his money from? And how is he managing to just take off, and he's coming back, and then where's the money coming from? You don't know how the bills are getting paid. It would be better if he got back and there's like a foreclosure thing stuck to his door or something. Like, anyway. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. James going to give you a little spiel about that. Well, I'm going to start eating.
So there's a lot of hatred directed at this guy.
Oh, I should mention that it's a PBS Frontline.
So, it's one of these, it's not a reporter, it's a correspondent. Martin Smith is his name. A fine-looking person. Been on some years, but he's still great-looking. Got a great head of hair, all that sort of stuff. And it was put out in 2019. So they don't give you enough background. Like, who is this guy? They say, okay, he's the oldest son of the third wife of the king of Saudi Arabia. Should really be called an emperor, but and so he's the heir apparent, and he wasn't up until I think it's around sometime during Obama's and late in Obama's administration. But they don't explain why the crown prince that preceded this guy was replaced. He didn't die. He was just shunted aside. This guy's younger, considerably younger than the preceding crown prince. And why was it? Well, they should at least have conjectured. I've run across conjectures, and they seem pretty straightforward. Obama was pussyfooting around with Iranians. Obama was one of the worst U.S. presidents when it comes to foreign policy. He let the Iranians continue developing nuclear weapons. You cannot let them have nuclear weapons. You just cannot let a fundamentalist Muslim regime get nuclear weapons. Why? Because they've been saying recently, fundamentalists and Muslims, and basically Islam is a fundamentalist religion. You believe in it, you believe in Sharia law, you believe in everything that Muhammad said. Sharia law is the whole thing. You can't pick and choose. It's what Muhammad said and did. It's preserved in the Quran, in his biographies, and in hadiths, collected sayings of him, and I guess his contemporary sayings and deeds of him and his contemporaries. Muhammad. So he died, when was it? 632 AD, I believe. This is how dangerous mainstream Islam is. It is, it's pre-medieval, really. So we might call the English Dark Ages medieval, but it's around that point in time, a long time ago. And the law is not supposed to change. At any rate, what they were saying, I first heard it on the news, like after 9/11, and it was a fundamentalist terrorist, but there's no difference ultimately in the values shared by terrorists, Muslim terrorists, and Muslim fundamentalists.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Muslim fundamentalists that aren't terrorists would have been called by Mohammed hypocrites. He called hypocrites people who didn't get out and fight for Muhammad, or as Muhammad portrays it, fight in the cause of Allah. And that's jihad, and also kill, qatala, something like that. The verb is the form, the equivalent of infinitive. It's not an infinitive, but it's the equivalent, qatala, something like that. I'm not sure where the accent comes. It means to kill, to conduct war. Those two things seem to be used in the Quran pretty well interchangeably, in the form of fight, kill, or struggle and fight in the way of Allah. So jihad originally means something like struggle. Qatala originally means something like kill. But ultimately they're used in that context as war, struggle or fight in a war, or in the way of Allah. So what they were saying, it just struck me. It was one of these terrorists saying, "You don't understand. We love death as much as you guys love life." I understand that's addressed to everyone who's not a Muslim. But they used to say that in the Middle Ages when they were fighting. Not just Christians, they fought anyone they could touch. Okay? They were touching heathen Turks. Took them as slaves until the Turks Turkic tribes decided that they'd rather join than fight. And it was so much fun, they could take slaves themselves. It's kind of like a pyramid scheme. But a really deadly pyramid scheme. Anyway, you don't just stand to lose money, you stand to lose your life. Anyway, yeah. So this is a sound chum, and it's a traditional one. Muslims love death as much as you all you secularists, all you non-Christians, as well as Christians, as well as this, that, and the other thing, Buddhists, whatever. They love death as much as you love life. And that's a sound chump, but they actually believe it. They believe that they're going, especially if they die fighting in the cause, or struggling in the cause, or warring in the cause of Allah, they believe they're going to paradise. Okay? There's no getting around it. You cannot allow people like that to get hold of an atomic weapon. I can see, especially, like a nuclear weapon, like a hydrogen bomb.
Okay, but
I can see them saying, surrender or else. Yeah, we'll bring the end of the world. We don't care.
Okay, but I still don't understand how this guy became prince. Or whatever prince to be.
I'm getting around to that.
Okay.
Okay, so Obama's sitting there pussyfooting around with the Iranians. Okay, yeah, we want to be peaceful about this, and all this sort of stuff. He let Russia go wild. Getting involved. The Fox network went wild. It already was wild, controlled by a Russian mob. And he let KGB and Russian mafia get involved in supporting Trump, supporting Bernie Sanders, and not cracking down on it. Trump should have been in jail. So should have Bernie Sanders for life, for treason. But no, he just sat on his hands, twiddling his thumbs. I'm not going to say where his thumbs were, and stuff like that. It was any variety of things. And he's going around at the end of his administration, apologizing to the Japanese for Hiroshima and Nagasaki, apologizing to Vietnam for the Vietnam War. Never mind that he was apologizing to Tonkinese imperialists who took over all of what we call Vietnam. Understand, Vietnam traditionally was like 3 different entities with a lot of little ethnic minorities mixed in. So it's actually 3 entities, not North and South Vietnam. In the North, Tonkin, in the middle, Annam, and in the South, Cochin. And what happened was the Tonkinese were taken over by the communists, and they set up an empire. They were trying to take over, and I suspect they have client states in Cambodia and in Laos, but they set up their own little empire there. Vicious, disgusting, and really stupid, really stupid. You know, they kicked the United States out of there, and by 1980 they're trading with the Americans because they're afraid of getting taken over by the Chinese communists. Welcome to reality, you stupid chimps. Okay, now, so that's how this guy got into power. The Saudis
So you
were
don't
going,
want S, so I can put it away?
Yeah. This is plenty good.
Okay, good.
This is one of Pauline's best recipes. These stuffed.
It's not
stuffed with
my recipe, it's this.
Well, it's.
You mean
put
just
the
stuffed
stuff
pepper?
Yeah,
just in
with the
general.
pepper.
Yeah, he loves stuffed pepper.
Like shield stuff.
No matter what I put in
other
it.
different things. Yeah. So it's the pepper that really counts. I mean, very healthy. A lot of vitamin C. I think even in cooked form.
Yeah, I did make it, you can see, a little bit burnt. I made it on the grill.
I didn't smell it, but I think
You can
I'd
taste
see.
it a bit. Okay.
I don't have a good sense of taste. Don't have a good sense of smell. And I don't mind them. Anyway, so there, Iran's right next door to Saudi Arabia. You know, there's no intervening country when we're talking about the some of the Arabian Sea. How much time?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. That's why this guy was put in power, because the Saudis finally just cut. They weren't trusting the Americans anymore. This guy's a different sort of thing. He's supposed to be a modernizer. You know, the left-wingers hate the Turkish administration. Hence, Oliver Stone doing Midnight Express. You know, horrible sort of thing. They hate the Turks because ultimately they ended up, up until Erdogan, because they were American allies during the Cold War, and that's apparently almost the next thing to a capital crime, like collaborating with the Americans against the Soviets, the Russians. Wow, that's amazing. But at any rate, I don't even know. So this guy apparently ordered and I think they admitted it. He might have even admitted it, that in the Saudi embassy in Istanbul, in Turkey, that a journalist, a Saudi journalist, was killed, and maybe under torture. They described the torture, and they said, "Get ready," and they put a bag over his head.
It seemed
suffocate
pretty
him,
quick,
and then
yeah.
they cut his head off, and I'm going, "Wow,
Doesn't seem-
this
It seems
is
like pretty standard killing for the area.
Yeah, it's not like the
not-
mafia. It's not like the
torture.
Russians. It's not like the Nazis.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I guess we're probably out of time.
10 seconds.
Yeah, so tune in. I'm going to be talking about it more. I might watch it again. I don't know. It's very bad journalism or correspondence.